Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Angela. You've got episode 122, What's Saving Our Homeschool and Personalities, Enneagram. We're going to get to all of that in just a few minutes. First, we just want to say hello and welcome to all of you, new and returning listeners. Thank you for being here. We're so glad to be with you again. We love this time. Love this time together. Special hello to our Patreon supporters. If you are interested in supporting us on Patreon and getting extra episodes plus a community of people, you can go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. And a special shout out to Erin, who leveled up to become a superstar.
Yay!
So thank you, Erin. And then
Super Squad.
Yep, Super Squad.
Yep.
And then Rachel is a new supporter too. So thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much. Yep, you're making it happen. All right, a little bit about our podcast. We are here to change the conversation about homeschool. We want to show up for you and remind you that where you are and what you're doing is enough and good. We want you to feel good about where you're at right now. And we don't want to add a bunch of things to your plate and make you think that you need to do more and more and more all the time. We're here to tell you maybe even less is more. Doing what you really love and what your kids really love is maybe the best thing for you today.
Yeah, and who you are, your personality, which we love talking about, that is who your kids need. Mm-hmm. And so the more we can encourage you and ourselves to let that shine and capitalize on those strengths, the better off everybody in your family is going to be and your homeschool.
If you really like that message and you want to hear more of it and support us sharing that message, one way you can do that for free is to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Believe it or not, this helps tremendously in getting new people to find us. So we are wondering, would you consider doing this if you haven't done so already? If you search us in the Apple Podcast app, you can find a way to do it there. It's not super user-friendly, but you can do it. My 10-year-old did it. So if she can do it, you can do it. It'll work on any Apple device, iPhone, iPad, iPod, anything.
Yeah, I woke up one day to a new review from your 10-year-old.
You'll have to go check it out.
I screenshotted it and sent it to you. We'll probably put that on social media at some point for fun because it was very cute. Yeah. And we thought, if she can figure this out, we adults can.
Right? I mean, come on. Although maybe she should give us all a tutorial.
She would love that.
She
would love that. So funny. Yeah. Okay. So Myron, the weather has changed here. Has it? I know you're in Seattle.
Yeah.
Has the weather changed there?
The weather in Seattle is very temperate, I would say.
Okay.
It's just so constant. I feel like it's been the same since we've been here. Okay. High of 60, low of 50. Pretty much every day.
Yeah, nice.
Maybe 47. I don't know.
Sounds
and
perfect.
It might rain sometimes. So it's like it's in the 50s. So it's like if it's windy, it feels really cold.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's just sometimes the thing is though, like Minnesota, we have to have kind of like 3 layers of clothes in our car at all times. We need a rain jacket always. Mm-hmm. We also have like light winter jackets. You know what I mean? Like just a thin down jacket. Everybody has one of those. So I actually bring those everywhere because if that wind is blowing, man, you got to have that warm layer. So we have that. And then we also like sometimes need to take all of that off and just have like short sleeves or whatever.
Yeah,
so
right.
You just never know. And then we also have in our car all the time hiking shoes or like, trail shoes. Because the trails are just super muddy and, it's just awesome. It's awesome. But we have to have like different shoes. And then we also have boots. Everybody has boots.
Like winter boots?
Like puddle boots,
Oh,
like
yeah. Rain boots. Yeah. That's amazing. You're always really good at being prepared for the weather.
I am. Because
You're
I
so good
never
at
want
that.
it to be a factor for us to say no to something. I
Yeah.
can't. I just can't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're here.
that's good.
We have got to explore it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the weather has changed here definitely. It
Yeah.
was like 80s one day, next day 40s or
Oh my
50s
gosh.
and really cold.
Oh my gosh.
And it's been really cold for a week or two. So,
Seriously. So is it hard now? Is it harder to get outside now because
Yep.
of that? Or
it's always hard for me right when it changes in the fall.
yes, me
Because
too.
and I know it's warm. So I know like compared to the winter, it's super warm and
Yeah.
but I have a really hard time getting out right at that weather change. So, anyway,
Mhm.
but we're all
I
like
agree.
snuggling
Totally.
in,
Yeah.
turning on the fireplace, wearing sweaters, stuff like that. So,
We got that
fun.
hygge.
got the hygge. But I wanted to ask you, we've talked
Yeah.
about this in the past and haven't talked about it in a while. Do you have like a fall/winter wardrobe? Do you have, I know you and I are both like fans of kind of wearing the same thing all the time,
Yeah,
like a capsule
are.
wardrobe, except for me, like that changes every few seasons. Usually, like I get a new favorite shirt and a new favorite pants or something.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, do you have like a capsule-ish wardrobe and what's in it?
Yeah. Well, I did have to kind of create my own capsule wardrobe when we started traveling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, summers, obviously, especially in New York, that was different than here. Although I'm still wearing the same leggings that I wore in the heat of New York. I'm wearing them here. It's my Athleta
Yeah.
stash pocket salutation
Yeah.
leggings.
Yep.
that
Those
I
are mine
love.
too. Yep.
Are they? Yep.
Yeah.
They feel like butter.
They do.
They feel so good. And so I've just been wearing those. I
Yeah.
do have a couple of like thicker leggings now that I've pulled out, and a couple of sweaters. But otherwise, it's kind of the same. I am getting a little sick of the Target shirts that I bought back in July because I've been wearing them. I mean, I have like three shirts,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been just wearing those for three
It's
months.
like a t-shirt.
Yeah. It's in the athletic department. So
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I could sweat in them. Like I could either go hiking or I could just
But it's got
athleisure,
that
let's
side
just say.
side
The
side-
side knot.
side knot.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit fancier than
yeah,
athleisure.
exactly. True. It could go either way. Totally.
Okay.
Which
think
I love.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty similar to you. I've got
Yeah.
those Athleta leggings that I discovered last year. Now
Yep.
they're a little spendy, but because I wear them
They are.
every day,
Exactly.
literally I don't care. Like it's like worth it to me. And I like it because they have that side pocket, so when you're out and about, you can just put your phone in there.
I know.
And
What
you're
would we
ready
do
to go.
now without the side pocket?
Well, I have one pair of those leggings, my black pair, that doesn't have the side pocket because I didn't discover
Yeah.
the side pocket version until too
Yeah.
late. So
They're
I do
newer.
have, they're newer. Yep.
Yep.
But so I still wear those, but I'm a little disappointed because they don't have that side pocket. So I actually have 4
Yeah.
total pair of those leggings, and that is what I wear every day.
I think I do too, actually.
You have 4
4
pair?
total. Well, I brought. Let me think. I brought 3 on the trip. So I have 2 that are like well, they're actually capris, but because I'm short, they
work
they're
either
like
way.
7. They're like 7/8, right?
Yeah.
7/8. And then I have a 7/8 length, which is actually like full length for me.
Okay, gotcha. Mine are
So-
all full length. I don't do the 7/8.
Oh,
I don't
you
know.
don't.
I think I don't want my ankles to be cold.
Yeah.
I do have a shorter pair that's like, I don't know if they're capris or not. They go just below my knees.
Yeah, those are capris, I'd say.
Those are capris. Okay.
Yeah.
I have one of those pair that I've worn in the summer sometimes.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
I needed to. Yeah.
Right.
But otherwise I have long ones. And
Well,
then
the
I
other
wear
day- oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you were saying.
I was going to just move on from those leggings. So I don't need to move
I was just
on.
gonna say, yeah, I was moving on from the leggings too. I was just saying with my shirts, the other day I got so tired. I actually walked into an Old Navy and bought two new t-shirts. It was like 2 for $10. I think they were really cheap, but I was like, I just need something different to look at on my body.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel that way because it was my loving this week. I don't know, 6 months ago was this Amazon t-shirt.
Yeah.
Amazon Basics. It's a V-neck t-shirt. I need a V-neck. It's what I always wear, a V-neck. And this is a short sleeve V-neck t-shirt. I probably have 10 of them. And
Wow.
60% of them are black. 75% of them are black. And then the rest are colors because they don't have great colors. But, you know.
I
And
know.
they come in a 2-pack. So also,
Okay.
like, they give you one bad color and one color you want. And it's like, that's what you get.
I know it. I know.
Anyway.
The thing is, I feel like Amazon Basics has done a great job with their style, but they have to do better on their colors.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. Yeah, so I wear that with
They're getting
leggings. And then I have like a cardigan, two cardigans, a sweatshirt, a couple sweatshirts, just depending on what I feel like, and I just wear that over.
Right.
So it's actually it's really nice to have to not have to think about what I'm going to wear.
Yeah, I love it.
And sometimes
I love it.
I wear it to bed. And then
You don't even have to change.
I don't have to change. If I like take a bath at night, sometimes I put it on, go to bed, and wake up.
Okay, this is funny. I can't sleep in those leggings. I can't.
Yeah, I don't love it
They're
either.
too tight for me.
They're a little
I
too
don't
tight.
know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am looking for some good joggers for pajamas. I want joggers for pajamas.
Okay.
So if anybody has any tips.
I haven't been able to get into the joggers. They look so cute on other people. For some reason, I feel like really foolish wearing them.
I don't know if they look good on me at all. I don't really care. It doesn't matter.
I think it's because they have that drawstring waist. Kind of. Or that's what I picture they have.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. I can't do a drawstring waist.
I bought a pair of joggers from Target probably 5 years ago, and they're falling apart. So
okay.
I wear them for pajamas. And also they're quite thick. Like, and I need something a little thinner now. So I'm on the lookout.
Okay. Yeah, but so this legging t-shirt combo is what I've been wearing for the last few winters.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe I need to spice it up. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this is where I think we talked about this on a Patreon episode about my new favorite pants, which are also from Athleta. They feel they are as comfortable, maybe more comfortable than the leggings. And they look just a little fancier.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. And so I am considering buying another pair of those or something along that line because they have a whole line of pants.
Yeah. Is it called the Brooklyn pants?
Yeah, Brooklyn ankle pants. Then they also have like a couple other that look so similar. They're just like a little different and a few different colors. So considering it.
They're not like tapered at the ankle though, right?
Not really tapered. They're more just straight, I'd say. I don't know.
I love the look of straight. I love that. That's probably my favorite look. I don't I prefer that over the tapered ankle. But I feel like for the winter when you're just in and out of your boots all day, I gotta have the tapered ankle.
Yeah, so true. And I think these wouldn't work for cold winters because they're pretty thin. So I feel like there are different versions though. You should go look because some are tapered. Some I mean, not the Brooklyn ankle pant, but other pants that they have are tapered and probably thicker. And so I'd go look around if I were you.
Okay.
If you're looking for something new.
Okay. But I also get lazy and I'll just probably wear the same thing.
Right.
Just maybe get a few new colors.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're doing a little mini series. This is our third one. What's saving our homeschool right now? And we just thought we'd each share something that is truly saving us in this. I'm still calling it back to school fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just getting started season.
We're giving ourselves space here.
Yeah. So Martin.
I was just going to say, I love this because I often feel like I think we all sometimes feel like there are so many things that are hard and not going well, or like I have to work on this, but I feel like we can all think of one thing maybe If you can. This is I think it's a good habit. Think of one thing that's like just going well. What's saving you right now? And I love to hear from other people. Like, what's saving, if we could all just put our what's saving our homeschool right now all together in a list, how awesome, right?
Yeah, and I think we are actually doing that on Instagram too, asking people to share, and I was seeing people's responses and really excited to read those. So
good.
Good. So Maren, what's saving your homeschool right now?
So right now, what's saving our homeschool is the Kindle that I got for my 12-year-old.
Okay.
It's been awesome. Okay, so we've been on, quite a journey with our 12-year-old with learning differences there, and a lot of it has to do with reading. And so it's been a tough go for years. And, for so long I thought, what am I, is she ever going to read? How parents do. What's going to happen to my child? Whatever, I've gone down that road so many times. But I have to say, because we did not push her into reading early, I feel like that was one thing that really helped us. Now she's 12. Her interest level has always been super high, like above her age almost. Yeah. Interest wise, her reading level hasn't always been there. And now I feel like it's almost converging, like where she's at this point where she can read the things she actually wants to read. So all of that worked together, and I just thought this is probably a good time. We're traveling, probably a good time for her to just try a Kindle. Yeah. Well, so on the Amazon, deals day, Kindle
Prime
was
Day,
super cheap. Prime Day, got her a Kindle, and she has been reading it every single day.
So wait, what kind of Kindle?
It is a Kindle Paperweight. And
is it
I
the
wanted
new one?
to get some. Yes.
With the audiobook.
Yes.
You can get it with audiobook.
We haven't really figured. Yes, you can get that. We haven't even totally figured that all out yet.
Okay.
Just reading on a Kindle has been really motivating for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels a little more grown up, and also she's super into these longer chapter books now that I think are more conducive to a Kindle than picture books, or whatever for younger kids. So she's really into the books that we can get on Kindle. And also, I have to say, and I have felt the same way about reading on a Kindle, I feel like reading on a Kindle is less intimidating than reading a big book. It is smaller. You don't have to look at how many pages you have to go, and you can just enjoy the page that you're on and not worry about it. Yeah. Like, just read this page and, flip it if you want or whatever. I feel like there's that kind of feeling when you're reading a Kindle. Yeah. On a Kindle. So, and I think that's really great for her personality, especially, and her learning style, and just, everything. So it just is really good for her. The other thing is, on a Kindle, you can change the font and the margins and the spacing between words. And so if you have a child who has any kind of reading, like learning difference with reading, that can be key to getting them interested in reading. They may feel like a lot more like successful in reading.
Yeah, yeah. Is there the dyslexia font, and do you use that or no?
She hasn't used that yet, but there is on there.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I have. Okay. I've used it a few times, and I think it can be helpful. I don't know that it would be helpful for all dyslexic. All dyslexics, but I think it's really nice to have that option for sure. Yeah. Okay,
so that's really good to know. I feel similarly about my I love my Kindle Paperweight. It's probably my number one LTW of all time. It's never been an LTW, but for like 5 years, I love reading on this Paperweight. And so when this new one came out, I was really tempted because it has audio. You can get audiobooks with it, which is all I ever wanted.
I
know.
Like
when my kids were younger, like I wanted a device where you could have books and audiobooks, and that's it, and like no internet distraction.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the other thing about the Paperweight. It's just reading.
Yeah.
That's all you can do on it.
Can use it as much as you want. Go to town. You can do it before bed, and it's not hurting your eyes.
No screen limits.
Yeah.
On that.
That's awesome. I'm so glad. Are you getting books from the libraries since you're traveling, or are you?
We haven't. No, we haven't.
Okay.
But I haven't even set that up. Honestly, I've like built up such a collection of Kindle books over the years.
Yeah.
That we're actually like using those. And then
good.
Also, my daughter has very specific tastes about. She's like, I will read this.
And you're like,
I'm
okay, I'll buy it for you.
I'm on it. I am on it. Just tell me anything. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the other thing, yeah, that's so great. So, and I know you can listen to audiobooks on this new Kindle Paperwhite, but what she does is she just listens to it on her. She will listen to a story on her phone, and then because it's if you have the Audible version and the Kindle version of the same book, then you can kind of go back. It's like, I think it's called Whisper Sync. So you listen to it a little bit, and then you can go to your Kindle, and it'll go to the spot
it'll update
that you finished listening. So, and that is also just like, oh my gosh, it takes so much pressure off of her, as a person who's working so hard to read anyway. So when she gets tired of that eye reading, she can go to Audible, like that, like right at that any moment she can go back to Audible and listen for as long as she wants, and then go back and she feels like I can do this. I can do this. I don't have to read a whole book to finish a book. I read a whole book. So it's just been so awesome.
Yes,
it's exploding her reading. It's exploding her reading.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So awesome.
I'm happy for you.
So yeah, she's been listening to the Hunger Games on Audible, and then reading, and then listening. And I think it's like her second time reading or listening to the whole series too, which is, I think, another great way to get your kids to feel successful in reading is to read a book they've already read, because so much of what they're reading is familiar already. So they don't have to work as hard the second time. And then they also get so much more out of the book.
They're picking out so much more from reading it that second time.
So much more. Yeah, totally.
My daughter's reading the Hunger Games too. I wonder if they're talking about it. I hope they are.
I hope so.
Should maybe nudge them.
Yes. That's great. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, listening. I think she listened.
To them. Yeah. I was considering, because this went so well for my 12-year-old, should I get Kindles for everybody? My other kids are 10, and 8. And I realized, especially on this trip, I was trying to go more digital with reading, but it's just not happening for them. I did not buy them Kindles, but I had them tried out. And I've tried lots of other reading apps on their iPads, and it's just not their favorite way of reading. iReading. I feel like physical books there's just really there's nothing better for them for the way they are. I mean, even the 10-year-olds are actually reading a lot of chapter books or like graphic novels, those kind of things. And they work on the Kindle app on iPad. It's really great. I mean, the graphic novels look so great on there, but it's just not the same as a physical book for them. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
So you're getting physical books for your younger kids.
We are. We've traveled with lots of books. Just the way it is.
Yeah. Right.
That's how it is right now.
Yeah.
And I can't complain about it. I mean, they're reading the books.
Right. You can always get rid of some and add others as you're traveling.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Although we really are traveling with our favorites. So
yeah,
I don't know if they can go anywhere.
Yeah.
I just brought our favorites. And then we've gotten some from local libraries along the way too. But
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Angela, what's saving your homeschool right now?
All right. So what's saving my homeschool is my master homeschool plan. I wish I had a fancier name for it, but that's just what I call it in my head.
I love this.
This I kind of came up with a few years ago, and it worked so well for me that I have kind of tweaked it every year and made a different one every year. And so this is just a one-sheet framework for how I'd like the year to go. It's not a daily schedule, although there are some daily stuff on there. But it's more of ideas. I would call it like a master list of ideas for me as I'm kind of planning out the day. So I use this daily. So I print one out. It's just one sheet. I print it out. And then, because I got a laminator, I told you guys about a few episodes ago. I laminated it this year. I haven't laminated in the past, but I laminated it this year. And I still change it. Sometimes like I mark it up and then maybe I'll print a new one with my changes. So it's like, it's evolving. Yeah. It's something that evolves, right? And so things that I have on here are like all of our read alouds that I want to do this year. Like I just list them there. Awesome. Things my kids can do for independent work. And these are like what basically autopilot type things that I don't need to be present for. But if I need some ideas for what they can do independently, that's on there.
So great.
I have on here what we do like together every day. Like read aloud, what that involves. A math game, and then I call it Brave Writer Loop. And then later I explain the Brave Writer Loop, like day 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here's the different things I do. Copy work, dictation, reverse dictation, free writing. That's my loop. And so it's just an easy thing for me to pick up and go like, oh, what are we doing today? Because, I forget.
And this helps you, like, you don't even actually really have to plan every day. You don't plan every day. You just look at that thing and you're like, okay, here's what we're doing.
I look at the thing and I pick out a few things.
Yeah.
That's what I do. In like, if I'm gonna be away from my kid, like today was a good example. Today I had an appointment in the morning and then we're podcasting this afternoon. So I know my 10-year-old is gonna be like kind of on his own for a lot of the day. And, I don't want him to be doing screens the whole time, although he's doing screens some of the times, and that's fine. So I look on this list and I think, what can I have him do? Oh yeah. And like there's a lot of different ideas for things that he can do on this list. Because prior to this, I was just like, relying on my memory, which what would happen is we would go like 3 months and I'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot. I wanted to do that one geography app and we haven't done it. I totally forgot about that. Well, now like I can write these things on here and not forget.
Oh my gosh. So, I love that.
So it just really works for me as, I think a lot of us are on the spectrum as far as planning goes, and like some people are really into planning and they plan every week or day in detail. And then some people are just like winging it, and I would say that I fall in I kind of used to be a winging it to a little bit of a planner.
Yeah.
And this has helped me move a little bit more towards planning, although it's not super detailed at all, but it's just like, a routine or a framework for me.
Yes. I love that.
To use.
I love it because it's almost like autopilot planning.
Autopilot planning.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all right there.
Yeah. Yeah. The nice thing is too, because this is like my 3rd or 4th year doing it. And now I just take the one from the year before and I take about, honestly, like an hour and I just like update it and then we're done. Yeah. We're ready to go. I add new read alouds, I add new history stuff and, I don't know. And so anyway, I will put a link to this. I was thinking about it. It's not on our website, so I don't know how to get a link to it.
Oh yeah,
but I will put it in our
show notes.
I don't think so because
a PDF. No,
I don't think you can do that.
You can't do that.
I will put it in our Facebook group if you want it. You come to our Facebook group and you can see it there. I'll put it there. And also, if you aren't on Facebook and you would like to see it, shoot us an email.
Yeah.
And I will email it to you, homeschoolunrefined@gmail.com. I'm sure I could put it on our website. I have no idea how.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that.
This seems like, like a no-brainer. Like I should be doing this because I have all these ideas and it just organizes your ideas. And also I think it organizes, I know you've talked about your priorities too. Like these things definitely need to get done and these things are like a maybe. And
yeah.
I love that. Like you could do that on that list. Be like, this is definitely
This is
happening.
my for sures. These are the extras. These are maybes. These are
Yes.
like, I have some things that's like monthly. What do I want to do monthly? Yeah. So it's really been helpful for me. I really
So great.
like using it. Yeah. So
I'm so glad.
yeah, I was just thinking, I wonder if it can go in our newsletter. I don't know. I'll have to check on that.
Yeah, I wonder.
Can possibly go there, but for sure I'll put it in the Facebook group. All right, let's move on to a little snippet we want to share with you from one of our classes that we just put out. So if you've listened to our podcast in the last month, you know that we've been sharing these snippets. We just put out some personality classes because personalities are our thing. This one in particular is about the Enneagram. And so we wanted to share this snippet with you about the Enneagram. Before we do that, we want to make sure you know why we think these classes would be helpful to you.
Yes.
We really feel strongly, and if you've been a longtime listener, you know this, that knowing yourself and knowing your kids and how you tick and what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses can help shape your homeschool to be the best homeschool it can be for you.
Exactly. Yes. And these classes help you figure out what's best for you and who you are. And it also helps you figure out what's best for your kids and who your kids are, you know? And so and also it helps you realize that, like Angela said, your homeschool is not going to look like everyone else's. And this is kind of your journey to figure that out.
Right. And so if you're a new homeschooler, it's really tough because you walk into this and think, okay, if you're new, you're probably like, I don't know how to do this. You know, tell me what to do. I'm going to look for guidance, and you might like listen to our podcast or read a blog or read a book or ask a friend or something. And those are great starts. But really, what is going to be best for you and your kids is just to find the way that it works for you, given your personality and given the way you tick and given your strengths. And so we really want to encourage you to figure that out because it's okay that your homeschool doesn't look like mine or like school or like your neighbor or friend who homeschools. It should look different.
Absolutely.
It should look different.
Yeah. And whether you are just starting out on this homeschool journey or you've been homeschooling for years, this is going to help you. It's going to bring new insight to your homeschool no matter where you are.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, so we would invite you to try those. We have there's a 4-class package. You can buy them individually if you're interested in something individually, or you can buy them together. So they're $10 each or $30 for the package. If you are a Patreon supporter, you get an extra discount on top of that. So
yeah.
This, like I said, this snippet is from our Enneagram class, and this is kind of a big snippet. So we hope you enjoy it. It is an intro and then talking about Enneagram numbers 1, 2, and 3. So if you're any of those numbers or you know someone who is, you'll probably enjoy this.
Okay, so here are all the numbers. We're just going to lay them out there before we move on to each one. But these are just like the titles of each one, basically, and we'll go into detail of each one of these now.
Yes, sure.
All right.
And we're going to be talking about them in the context of ourselves as adults and somewhat as as thinking about our children.
Right.
Like I said, we don't even know what our kids are. I mean, we have some ideas right now where they might be, maybe some of our kids, but so we're just like going to be generally speaking
right
about kids and adults in these roles in the homeschool.
Yes. And I just have to say, if and when I do talk to about my kids, which I'm sure I will a little bit, but this, I like to, and I know we've said this in the other classes too, we like to try these numbers or these profiles on our kids without setting them in stone on them. So I might think one of my kids is a 1, and then I get to just try that out with that child for a while and see how that fits him. And then I can see what works and what's not working. Is he
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's great that we as parents kind of become experts in our children. That's, I think that's a great goal to have, is that we're experts in our child. We know them best. And so this is just a way to know your kids best, I think, too. So.
Yep. All right. Number 1, you have it titled The Reformer. It's also sometimes called The Perfectionist.
Yes. Could be either.
So their main motivation, because remember we were saying like the key here is their motivations and their fears.
Yes. Here.
So not necessarily behavior. Oh, you wrote it. You have it down. Okay. Yep. Motivation is to be good and have integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And their fear is of them being corrupt or defective.
Right. Right. So, as a kid, they might be really good at following directions and doing the things they know that are right. And so here I just put on here, these are just some strengths and weaknesses that each number might have, might or might not. I mean, and this is where it gets a little subjective sometimes, or I don't want to say subjective, but like this is about someone's motivation. It's very personal. So it comes out differently in each person, in each child, right?
So, and these are, like we were talking about before we started, commonly perceived strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly.
They're not,
you might see.
You might see these, and these might not be a strength that, like you might not see these as a strength or a weakness.
Right.
So we're just saying, like, commonly people say these are strengths and weaknesses of a 1.
Not so much cut and dry with the Enneagram.
No, sorry. I feel like I'm giving a lot of disclaimers.
Yeah, I know, but here we go. Let's just do this. So like a strength for a 1 might be they have a very strong moral compass. So if they're out even just with their friends and they're all doing something that is not right, a 1 probably will not go along with that.
Yeah.
And so they may not need a lot of reprimands as a child, to clean their room or to do their chores or brush their teeth, those kind of things. Like once it's instilled in them that that's the right thing to do, it's not really an argument anymore.
Right. I was thinking, because I have a child I might think would maybe be a 1 right now. That might change. That child wants to be on time to everything and is encouraging the rest of us to be on time.
Yeah, I know. And I have a child who I think might be a 1 too. And also same thing. When I say it's time to go, that child gets on his shoes and gets in the car. And then he waits there for 15 minutes, while the rest of us are scrambling. So.
Yeah. However, I was going to say, I was reading somewhere that some ones are late a lot because they are trying to be perfect in like getting ready to go. And so that perfectionism can sometimes make them late. So yeah.
So see, this is why it's like, just because a person is always on time, it doesn't mean they're a 1. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason always to these things.
It's what's the motivation behind them being on time. It's because they want to do the right thing, or behind them being late, it's because they're trying to make sure they have all the things in their backpack or whatever.
So true. Yeah. And then a perceived weakness of a 1 might be that they may need help not reprimanding everyone else. Like they may be the kid who's going, hey, who didn't clean out the dishwasher? Like, or, like somebody didn't finish their math homework today, or, like that could be a 1.
Could be. Yep.
Could be. Yeah. Somebody who's just see that happening. Everybody else is doing the right things too. It's really important for a 1 that we're all doing the right things.
The right thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be seen as a little judgy, maybe.
It could be, or, tattletaling, a little bit of tattle.
Yeah.
That could be a 1,
Right.
All right. Should we move on?
Yep.
Okay. So number 2, the helper.
Oh, I like your graphic.
I know. It's a little fuzzy, sorry, but it just reminded me so much of the giving tree. The giving tree
Oh, yeah.
is a 2.
The giving tree is a 2.
It's definitely a 2.
I never thought about that.
It just gives and gives and gives. That's what a 2 does. A 2 gives.
Because the 2 wants the boy to love her back or him back.
Yes, exactly. So their motivation is to be loved.
Yep.
And that often comes from acts of service, I think, or, giving and doing.
Yep. And their fear is of being unwanted or unworthy. So 2s do a lot for other people.
Yes.
They see a need and they fill it.
Yes.
A lot of times. They see somebody needs something and they want to be helpful.
Yes. And then their fear might be like, if they don't fill that need, then people will forget about them or not want them. If they're not the person doing it, then why are they important? That's what a 2 might think.
Yep.
Yeah. So their strength, like we said, they'll see a need and they will fill it. This is the child who, may see that, you need help bringing the groceries in, and they just do it without being asked.
Yep.
They see that you're carrying laundry over to the laundry basket and they're like, here, let me help you with that. They're just always, or if you ask, can somebody please take the dog for a walk, and nobody else does it, they're like, I'll do it again. The 2 will probably always just be like, I'll do it. Nobody else is doing it.
And that comes from the motivation of wanting to be loved.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, those behaviors can be other numbers too, but the general motivation behind that is they want to be loved.
And so the perceived weakness of a 2 might be that they may not feel worthy unless they get a lot of praise for all the things that they've done. So if they haven't gotten a lot of praise, they may need to be taught how to feel good about themselves and have positive self-talk.
Without being of service to others.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yes, and just that if they don't get a bunch of compliments, even on the great things that they do, that they're still,
loved.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Move on to 3.
Let's do it. 3, the achiever. Yep. The 3 loves to be number 1.
And is it also called the performer sometimes?
The performer, yes.
Yeah, interesting.
But it's not the kind of performer like they like to entertain, not that kind of performer. The performer, I will step up to any challenge. I will perform at a high level.
Yeah. Yep.
In any situation.
Yeah.
As needed.
So their motivation is to be valuable. And their fear is being worthless.
Yep. So, these are the kids who want to get to the end of their workbook right away. Maybe. This could be another number 2. Another number may want to do that for another motivation, but a 3 would want to do it because they want to get it done the quickest. Or
they're very achievement focused.
Yes.
They can be very hard workers. And that is to kind of, I don't want to say prove, but, show their value.
Yeah.
Gain value that way.
Yep. Like a lot of 3s try and get into the best colleges or, the best program in any college. And then they want to get the, they often will go into very high pressure jobs or, intense jobs because that's where they thrive kind of in that, the pressure, what am I trying to, not the pressure, but they like the
competition
there, they always want to challenge themselves too. And then they use other people to challenge themselves. They're like, I want to get better than this person, and then I want to get better than this person, and then this person. They keep going up the ladder. So,
yeah. So their strength is they work really hard and they do well in lots of things. The weakness is that they may need help letting other people shine.
Right. Exactly. For example, if if you have kids who do not like losing, even just in a board game, they may or may not be a 3, but it could be that they might be a 3. They do not like to lose. They do not like to lose.
I think lots of young kids are like this with board games. But
although I have kids, I have kids. No, I don't know that any of my kids are 3s, and I see it in board games.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Lots of kids,
they don't care as much. Though.
Oh, they don't care in a board game.
No, my kids don't care as much. They do not super get into board games.
Oh,
because the competition factor isn't there for them. They're just not into the winning or losing.
Yeah,
really.
I guess what I'm saying is I think you can be competitive and not be a 3.
Mm-hmm.
But 3s
Absolutely.
generally are competitive. Generally.
Yeah, and they generally win. Like they get to the point where they learn how to win a lot of times, Anyway, yeah. So their weakness might be that they maybe just need to learn to be a good sport. And even if they are winning a lot or getting better at things than everybody else, like how do they lift other people up with them? So all right, let's move on to loving this week.
Yes.
Angela, what are you loving this week?
I am loving a book that I recently finished and I can't stop thinking about. And so I wanted to share. Yes, I haven't shared a book in a while. So I thought this would be it's good timing. This book is called The Great Believers by Rebecca Mackay. Okay. I think you've heard me talk about it maybe before. Because it just really had an impact on me. This is a fiction. It's a novel. I would say it's like the word that comes to mind is sweeping because it spans a few different decades. And it is mainly centering around the 1980s AIDS crisis. So it's a fictional story, but based on real events. And it's about this group
which you love. I think you've.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like my thing. I like learning I would call it historical fiction, even though it didn't happen too long ago. Yeah. Even though it was in my lifetime, it still feels. It's still, I would say, that category of historical fiction. But I've heard about the 80s AIDS crisis, and I know like a lot of people died, but that was the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah.
So this book centers around a group of friends, men in the 80s who are gay and who are, one by one contracting AIDS. And this was before I think they had just started learning about that it was how you could even contract it. It was all so new, And so it's about all of their friendships, which is it was really moving. It's about how they're all dealing with death and grief. And it also, there's 2 stories going on like simultaneously. And then there's a story in present day of the sister of one of the men who died, who ended up caring for not only her brother, but some of his friends as they passed away. And so it's her now reflecting back on that experience. So it's just like, I learned a lot, and it was so well written. It's won many awards and been a finalist for many awards. So it's just like very well written, well done story about something I knew little about. So loved it. So I would highly recommend it if that's your thing.
I love your recommendations because it always brings out a story that I would love to learn about, but I'm not going to just read anything about that. Like I want something good. Yeah,
you want a recommendation.
This is it.
This is it.
Thank you.
All right, Maren, what are you loving this week?
All right, I'm loving a new way to make coffee.
Oh, yeah.
I know I've probably talked about these things a lot before you guys, but I am kind of on a quest for making good coffee while we're traveling because nobody really has good coffee makers in their Airbnbs. So I'm trying to figure this out on my own.
Yeah.
The thing that I found, it's called an AeroPress. And actually somebody from Instagram DM'd me about this. So it might be one of our listeners. I don't know. But anyway, so it's called the AeroPress Coffee and Espresso Maker. It makes such good coffee, and it only takes like a minute. It's amazing.
So how do you do it?
It's just a little I don't know, cylinder. You put some coffee grounds in there. Well, there's actually a filter on the bottom. You put some coffee grounds in, and then another cylinder goes on top of that, and you kind of press it down, and it's the air pressure in there that I don't know what it does. It's like magic, but it makes this amazing coffee.
Wow.
So, yeah, you just press it down for like 30 seconds.
Do you pour hot water down there?
You pour hot water over the grounds. You mix it up a little bit, just like 2 ounces, first of all, of water.
Okay.
And then you press the thing in, and then you get about like 2 ounces of like very concentrated coffee, which is, you could just use that as espresso if you want. And then you just add some more water at the end if you wanted to make it into a cup of coffee. And it's so good. It's so good and so easy. And it's something that we can travel with, because it's like, I mean, seriously, like 8 inches tall.
And you don't plug it in. It's just a device.
You don't plug it in. Yeah. And it's super cheap. It's like $30 on Amazon. So
nice.
Super easy way to make coffee, and so good. The person who messaged me about it said that her husband, who is like this coffee snob, will only make this kind of coffee at home. So I was like, okay,
that's enough for you.
That's enough for me. And and he was right. It's really really good.
That's great. Well, we will put a link to that in our show notes and in our Amazon store.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for listening. If you want to follow us on social media, we would love that. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Homeschool Unrefined. We have a website, homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find links to and show notes for everything that we talked about. Oh, yes. And our Facebook group, I want to just mention, is Unrefined Homeschoolers on Facebook. And you can find us there, too. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren Gorse and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.